Hello everybody, this is Matt or Tekka, whatever you want to call me, as usual. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. As you can see, there's nothing on screen at all except a little image I decided to make for you guys. Because today is a kind of podcast moment, so if you want to just listen to this in the background and do something else, you are more than welcome to. Just, you know, go play some game or something like that while you're listening to my beautiful voice. Wow, that was a big ego moment for me. Sorry, let me just drink some water. Because this is going to be pretty long, and I might put it in different parts. Because I really just want to talk about some, not issues, but some topics which are really very debated and discussed on, especially gaming forums, obviously, because they're gaming related topics. But I don't think someone has really compiled everything and, you know, brought everything together for, you know, just one session, if you know what I mean, just to listen to. So I'm going to try and do that. Now, everything I'm going to say may sound a bit obvious to some people, and a lot of people are going to be like, why did you even spend the time doing this? Everyone knows, you know, everything you just said already. What's the point? And what I'm going to say to that is, yeah, there are some obvious things, but a lot of people do not know some of the, you know, deeper qualities of this debate, if that makes sense. Some of the deeper meanings and, you know, why it goes on. So, yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it here. I am going to talk about real world traders and generally base the whole podcast around them. So these are bots, these are gold farmers, as you may call them, or whatever currency is in the game. But pretty much what these people do is they go into a game and they, you know, get currency within the game however they can, and then they sell it on, you know, for real money. So you are literally buying, you know, fake game gold for your own money. And straight away, what I can see everyone thinking is, you know, these guys are fucking dicks, really. Sorry, if there's any pauses in this, is because this is literally one take. I'm not going to edit this whatsoever. If I mess up, I mess up. If I go off on a tangent, I go off on a tangent. That's why it might be in different parts, and it might be really long. But please bear with me. But yeah, a lot of you will be thinking, these guys are fuckers, and I hope they all die, and I hope they move out of fucking China and just go somewhere else, because they ruin MMOs, blah, blah, blah. Well, in many cases, you are correct. Many MMOs have suffered gameplay-wise from this, which is obviously a bad thing, especially as a gamer myself who has played a lot of MMOs of various types and, you know, enjoys that. But I really just want to get into the issue deeper because there's a lot more I want to talk about. So, starting off, real-world traders, yeah, they do that. And a lot of why they do that is because it is a business. Gaming is a business. When you go to someone like Blizzard or you go to someone like Square Enix, and they have all their community stuff, they do all that community stuff because it's a business, because they need to retain their customers to get more money. Most games, most MMOs anyway, sorry, are subscription based. So, you know, actually no, that's a lie. Some MMOs are subscription based. So you pay a certain amount every month. And this can apply to not just gaming, but, you know, a lot of other businesses like phones, TVs, you know, Sky is obviously subscription based and stuff like this. Well, when you're in a subscription based model of a business, the main things you need to concentrate on are retaining those customers, because it's not like a microtransaction business. For example, if you had a market stall down in town or something, you don't have to keep going out and selling your product again and again and again. These people with the subscription-based models know that their customers are going to come back and are going to pay the money. But as soon as you get those customers in and you get them hooked, then you are set. But you need to keep those customers, and this is what everything is based on in MMOs that are subscription based. Anyway, I'll talk about the free-to-play ones with microtransactions later, but right now subscription based. And real-world traders love this purely because most subscription based MMOs have some sort of economy. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper in here. So if you've played Final Fantasy XI or World of Warcraft, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say they have a completely open economy that is down to the players to do what they want with it, if you know what I mean. So, for example, in Final Fantasy, I could, if I was rich enough, you know, buy out everything of, you know, a certain item on the auction house. And unless other people came and put that up, then I could set the price to whatever I wanted, because I have all the supply and I can control the supply and demand. It's basic economics, pretty much. Same with World of Warcraft. Any of you will know that someone with a lot of money can come and just buy out, you know, whatever they want and control the prices on it and exploit them completely. Now, with real world traders, this is great because the in-game economy creates itself. You know, everyone gets their own gold and then they come and spend it, and that's how, you know, money goes in and out of the game, if you know what I mean. While on other games which are free to play with microtransactions, the game developers, for example, if World of Warcraft was a free to play game with microtransactions, Blizzard would be the people creating the gold. They could create the gold whenever the hell they want, and then they could sell it to you themselves. But because it's subscription based, they can't do that, and because they've got this free economy, they literally cannot do this. So the only way you can get gold without going out and getting it yourself is buying it from these real world traders. And going back to the fact that everything is a business when it comes to MMOs, you've got to remember that real world trading is a business. And why does it exist? Because there is a demand for it. And this demand drives them to get the gold and drives them to ruin, I'm actually doing air quotes here, but ruin your gaming experience for you. Because I know there have been a lot of times where I've been trying to farm my own gold and these real world traders, you know, have been in the exact same place, and they just, because they have bots and stuff and automated really quick reactions that I can't match up with, I'm losing out pretty much, and I'm wasting time because these real world traders are there. So yeah, it can be frustrating, but you have to remember that it is because of players, not because of real world traders just deciding, oh, you know, we're just going to be annoying, if you know what I mean. Another thing I want to talk about here is real world trading, how it works. Pretty much, when you go on a gold site, or if you go on a gold site, you can have a look around, and please do look at one now if you want. I mean, yeah, sure, it's creating extra traffic for them, but you kind of need to understand to see where I'm coming from this. They do not get the gold themselves. They are like a middleman. They are just the people who let through the transactions, if you know what I mean. They're the people who just kind of traffic all the money to the players from these real-world traders, pretty much. What was my point here? I'm really sorry about this. Now, obviously, these gold sites are not the ones responsible for these accounts in game that are farming all the gold, you know. They are usually, and I'm generalizing here like a bitch, from, you know, kind of Asia, Southern Asia side, and they are, as a lot of people know, you know, little houses or something, or offices with tons of computers and people literally just sitting at them playing all day. Not the sites that sell them, but the real world traders themselves. The sites that sell the gold are literally just a middleman, and they just take a chunk of the, you know, profits. It's like, it's pretty much with any business that has a middleman in, so I'm really trying to think of one here. Well, simply, supermarkets. That's what supermarkets are. They get the produce, and then they take a, you know, a chunk of that, if you know what I mean. They just sell it on. Sorry about these breaks, by the way. It's just kind of hard to keep my thoughts flowing as they are, because it will be a bit random. But yeah, the people who actually do real world trading, a lot of people say, oh, they don't have a choice. You know, their job conditions are really shit. In some places, yes, that probably is true. Obviously, I don't have any fact to back this up, so I can't just say yes, everyone who's a real world trader has shit conditions and was forced into it like prostitution or something. No, a lot of the times it's because it is the best job to take. I mean, a lot of these people could be fishermen or something. I know this is being really general. Yeah, I'm generalizing a lot, and this is actually a little bit racist maybe to some people, and I apologize for that. But you know, the jobs they take are usually worse than real world trading, in the fact that some people find it fun to actually, you know, play the game and just do this, rather than, you know, go out and do some manual labor or something like that, and the pay is equal or more usually. And that is fact, because there are so many sources for this. I will list them. I will probably link a video below which I've watched, which I found amazing, which was one of the leaders of the real world trading, and it was an interview with him, and it was so insightful, and it is kind of what inspired me to make this video in the first place. But yeah, what I should really move on to now is the whole free-to-play microtransaction thing. And the reason this is so important, and the reason a lot of these games have been popping up lately, is because it stops real-world trading. Plain and simple, it stops it. It kills it. Now, I'm just going to name a few games here. Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online. These two games have both become free-to-play, which when, you know, I saw that, I thought, this is really odd. Surely a subscription-based, you know, game would be so much better, because then you get, you know, all the revenue every month, and you don't have to worry as much about overheads and stuff. You know, people might not buy from the store as much. But the thing is, it is actually kind of similar, because if you have a load of people hooked on your game, let's just take Dungeons and Dragons Online, because I've actually played this one. If you had a load of people hooked on Dungeons and Dragons Online, and they go to what they call the DDO store, and they want to buy something, you get given a few points. You know what I mean? When you're leveling up and stuff, you kind of get them through something called faction. I won't go into it because it might get a little bit too complicated for some people, but you do get given a few free points. This is incentive, and it just gets you used to the store, if you know what I mean. They're kind of just reeling you in like a fish, honestly. Except they're reeling in your money instead. And the thing is, just like a subscription game, they want to retain you. They want you to keep buying from your store. And this doesn't mean they have to make the game unfair. This doesn't mean they have to make game-breaking items that you can only get in the store. It just means that they can open up a lot more opportunities for people who are willing to pay. Now, the reason, I should have explained this before actually, but the reason it stops real-world trading is, again, because they can print money. They can just say, oh, well, you farmed all this gold? Well, we'll just make gold really fucking cheap from our store for a little while. We'll just give it an 80% off thing, and that will screw you over massively. And it does, and it, you know, there's no incentive there for a business, because there's no demand for it that they need to fulfill, because the game developer has already fulfilled that demand, and so they just don't belong there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I'm really sorry, this has been a little bit more vague than I thought it would be in the first place, but I think it's quite interesting really to listen to, hopefully. For some people anyway, it should be alright. But other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about another part of real world trading which will really annoy people, and it annoys me, and it even annoys real world traders, so, you know, make sure you keep that in mind. Hacking. Hacking accounts does happen, and yes, it does actually exist more than just putting a keylogger on someone's computer, or like, you know, someone just being an absolute dick and using password or 12345 or something as their password. And it's even more than them just, you know, telling someone the password. There are actual people out there who can hack databases legit, like, you know, they can actually get your information extremely illegally, but you know what I mean. So yeah, hacking. And the reason this annoys everyone is obviously because you spend so much time on this account and it just gets taken away from you, everything gets stripped, everything gets sold off to some absolute dick who's fueling the real world trade economy by buying their gold that you earn. And the reason it annoys some real world traders is because it's kind of like, I don't really want to make this comparison because it's a bit harsh, but it's kind of like blood diamonds. People want diamonds, obviously, because they are so, you know, rare and expensive, and there's a huge demand for them. But people don't want blood diamonds. People don't want dirt money. People don't want money with a black mark on it, alright? They want clean stuff so they don't have to run into any laws. They don't have to deal with, you know, anything other than what's allowed, pretty much. So when you get these hackers, which is kind of illegal, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, oh god, how can I forget the word? It's like online property, but I've forgotten what it's called. Forgive me about that. But anyway, it's kind of illegal, and it's just generally majorly morally wrong. And if you know that, you know, a gold site is getting its money from hacking accounts, then a lot of people will, you know, turn away, mostly because they don't want their account hacked. Simple as. And a lot of people will, you know, go down and say, oh yeah, but the hacking's just because, you know, you bought gold in the first place, or if you get power leveled, then they'll just take your account details and keep them themselves. Actually, no, that is a small proportion. A larger proportion is from something that may surprise you, forums or fan sites. And this isn't because the people who run them are giving out your username and password. Not at all. What happens is that if you were a real world trader, a gold farm or whatever you want to call them, and you were looking to hack an account, you wouldn't go straight to the game. This is simply because they have tons of security around games. Trust me on this one. Not that I know anything, no, but honestly, they have huge amounts of security on this. If they did manage to hack it, then it would be so easy for the game developer to just track them down and know exactly where they are and just, you know, get rid of all the gold they have anyway and give them back to the players. So instead, what these people do is they go on fan sites and they go on forums and they hack the databases of those. And you think, yeah, but it has nothing to do with the game. It's completely different. I don't use the official forums or anything. That's bullshit. Fact is, how many of you use the same email address and password on a forum or fan site as you do on your account? Yeah, I left that silence because I'm guessing a lot of you. I know I was before I realised this. I was a victim of this. I used the same one, but then I just suddenly realised, what the fuck? Like, why would I do that? And the easiest way to combat this is literally changing your password every like week or month or something. Mostly month, I'd say. And it sounds so obvious, but it is, you know, so hard for someone, unless they have a keylogger on your computer, to just know exactly what your password is every time. It's, you know, the chances of that are completely... it's so hard to keep up with that, if you know what I mean. That's simply what I'm going to say and leave it at that, because I sound like an absolute gibbering idiot. I have for the whole video, but you know. But yeah, so just make sure your password is different every month or so, or even, you know, a little bit longer, but just make sure you change it. And if you have got your forum email and password the same as your gaming one, then please change that as soon as possible, because that is probably the biggest reason people get hacked. And the quicker you get that resolved, the less gold spammers you have, because you see gold spammers and you think, oh, people are, you know, making loads of accounts just to spam and get banned in 5 minutes. No, they hack those accounts. Those accounts are hacked. They are hard-earned accounts most of the time, majority of the time. They are hard-earned accounts by other players and they are just being used for the wrong reason. So, you know, it's a bit harsh to report them now. I feel kind of bad when I report them because I know it, you know, it's someone's account, but they can get it back, luckily. But yeah. And not all games have that in store. So just keep that in mind if you play a different game than like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 11 or something like that. That not all games, you know, can redeem your items and characters. So don't be too harsh to people if they get hacked or something like that, because it can be really, really annoying. Sorry, going off on a massive tangent. This is almost 20 minutes long. Well done to me for talking for so long. And thanks for anyone who's still listening, because you guys are amazing. But anyway, let's get right back on target. About these passwords and hacking in general. There aren't many people that think hacking is a good thing, obviously. Especially hacking something like an MMO account. It's kind of low, it's really cheap, and it's shit, pretty much. So let's move on to other things. Moving on to things like what I was talking about, spammers. Why do companies not do anything about this? This is another question a lot of people ask. Like, why don't you just ban everyone? And one of the arguments that comes up here is because the company makes a fuckload of money off real-world trading. Holy shit. They make tons, especially, well, subscription games where real-world trading happens. Because, yeah, every single account that, you know, is legitimately paid for, which is most of them, because it's so hard to get a pirate account on WoW or something. Come on, think about it. But yeah, most of the people pay. And think about how many real-world traders there are over all the servers. And think about how many accounts they have to make for all their, you know, dealings and stuff. And think about what happens when the producer bans all those accounts and then they make more. You can just see the numbers adding up like absolutely crazy in your head. Now, usually, real-world traders or gold farmers, I like to call them people, you know, they're people too. They will target a game when there is mass interest in it. And this is why World of Warcraft is so good for it. The amount of subscribers it has, the amount of expansion packs it has come out with. And each time one of those comes out, interest, boom, right back into the game. Tons of people flood back into World of Warcraft, and real-world trading, their sales is just going to go through the roof. And if you look at the times where game developers have banned a ton of accounts, you'll realise that it is around the times of these expansion packs releasing, and that is that is nothing to just, you know, ignore. That is real economics and stuff right there, because they are just blocking, you know, sales completely, because they're taking all their stock away. It's like at Christmas, you have a bunch of Christmas trees and someone comes and burns down all your Christmas trees, and all you have left is a bunch of stumps. Well, you can't sell stumps, can you? You can't sell nothing. And they're cutting you down in the time of your prime. So, you know, that is well done to the game developers for that. Well, just plain out well done. They are doing a great job. And it is so ignorant to say, you know, games developers aren't doing anything about bots. They are doing, anyone, the real world trading. Sometimes they're manually controlling all this. But they are developing all the time to combat this. And this is why this free-to-play system has arose a lot. Now, the only problem I find with the free-to-play system is that the games that have it aren't as good as the ones you pay for. And I don't know why that is exactly. I'd like to say it's because they don't get enough content, or like they aren't updated enough because the company can't invest the money into it that they need to. But it might just be psychological, honestly. This is just, you know, I'm throwing this at the wind here. But think about it. If you're paying £15 to go to the gym, or you go to the gym for free, but you have to pay to use some of the, you know, like some of the weights or something. I don't know. If you were going to it for free and you had to pay for certain things, then you wouldn't go there as often as if you were, you know, forced to pay the £15 a month or something like that, if you know what I mean. Something to think over. I've explained it really badly and it was very vague at that point, but I find it interesting. Anyway, that's just a theory of mine. I've got a lot of theories, obviously. I've got a lot to talk about because this is going to probably go on for half an hour at this rate. So really sorry about Why am I apologising? Fuck you guys. No, not really. But I think I've covered quite a lot here about real world trading, about, you know, passwords and stuff. And yeah, another thing I just want to talk about really quick is, because I don't know that much about it, and so it's a bit shit if I just keep talking about it, is about how the game developers actually look at their systems. The game developers for MMOs, they look at like how they retain their customers. So as I've said before, this is a really simple way of putting it, but pretty much what keeps the customers immersed in this game. It's nothing to do with how can we make the best game possible. It's how we can keep them immersed. And you know, a lot of the time, keeping the community happy makes the game better, obviously, because more people are enjoying it, and so it's a better experience for everyone, right? But the thing is, a lot of, you know, holiday events and stuff, you see them change sometimes. And when you see them change, that is the game developer testing something. That is them testing if people will react well or react badly to it. This is also sometimes if like new quests are added to the game, or like NPCs or quests are changed. These are all little changes that seem to have like such a minuscule difference, but over time I can't really explain it, but they become obvious, if you know what I mean. They become obvious for keeping people immersed in the game. So I'm going to take World of Warcraft again, because it is the most easy example to use for an MMORPG, sorry. And I can just talk about it quite a bit. I only started playing it about a week ago. I'm not going to lie. Literally, I only started playing it about a week ago. But what I've realised in that time, I made trial accounts like ages ago, and I hated the game completely. I play it now because my friends play it, and when your friends play a game, it becomes a million times better than it otherwise would be. But sorry, I'm going off a tangent again. What I've realised over time is that the game has become easier as such, especially the grind up to max level. Now, a lot of people would be like, duh, well, the max level is risen from 60 to 85, so it has to be a bit easier, otherwise no one would play it. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Like, a lot of the people who grinded up to 60 wanted to grind up to 60, because not many people were 60 at the time, and so they wanted to be the first, and they wanted to be the best at the game. And that still carries on with stuff like, you know, epics and doing raids and stuff. You can be the #1 raid team. You know, that can be a real achievement for you. And these MMOs are all based on self-achievement, really. A lot of the time. They are also there, obviously, for social and immersive experiences. But a lot of the time it is about self-achievement. And they have made the leveling process easier. And a lot of the time it doesn't work out, because companies say, oh, we should make it easier so more people join, but that doesn't give you the same achievement as it would in other games. But the thing is, so many people are max level now that they don't want to go through that dirty, long grind again to get another character up to that level. The game has progressed so much that they can afford to make it easier. They can afford to sacrifice that achievement that you got for getting to 60 and instead move it to something else, like PvP maybe, like being the #1 raid team, as I said before. Obviously, I'm not a pro on all this stuff. I do not have complete facts to back it up. A lot of this is opinion and throwing stuff in the wind to see what it catches. But I think it's just really interesting to talk about, for me anyway, because I've been gaming since I was so young, and MMOs are really something so complex that it just really interests me as a gamer. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So this isn't going to go up to half an hour at all. It's a whole minute less. Oh, what a shame. But anyway, thanks for everyone that has listened, because obviously this is a long video. Oh, it might go to half an hour, sorry. This is a really long video, and you'll have to have some real dedication or interest to listen to this. So if you have listened to this the whole way through, or even part way through, and you just skip to the end or something, then please leave a comment. You know, send me a message, whatever, to, you know, discuss it all, because I'm probably wrong with half my shit, I'm not gonna lie. Most of my ideas are, you know, philosophies and stuff. So yeah, just send me a message or leave a comment or something expressing your matter on the issue, or what you just think of real world trading as a whole after listening to this. And yeah, if you are interested, there is tons of stuff. Just search it on YouTube or Google or whatever, and there is a ton of information out there for you to look at. So yeah, this was really fun. Thanks for listening, guys, and I guess I'll see you in the next video, as usual.